bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. Solar. Power up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk 49 that's powered by 320 Solar. Put the power back into your pocket. And while putting power back into your pocket, make sure to check out Fast Track Cannabis of Clinics of America, nation's largest medical marijuana doctor with over 2,500 state licensed doctors in all 32 states. Medical marijuana is legal. My Cannabis card effectively links new patients with the closest state licensed medical marijuana doctors near them while also saving up to 30%. Just mention Bucks Report, Sports Talk 49, or Blake Anthony. Also, Bucks Report's only sports bar and grill, The Deck at Isla del Sol. Check out Cedric Robinson in the game and come down there for some of the best wings, tasty wings around the area. And it's just a great experience if you're a sports fan or a fan of the Buccaneers or whomever. It's just a great experience to be around other people from that area, whatever team they're watching. It's a great area. They play their fight song when they score. It's just a great experience to check out. So today we're going to be going to a few things today. I know it's not per se, NFL friendly. What do y'all think about the Toronto Raptors possibly playing here in Tampa Bay? What do y'all think about that? You know, with Canada, with the issues of coming in and out the country with the whole COVID-19 thing and all that stuff. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's not bad to actually have some NBA in the Bay Area down here, and if you're a Raptor fan, it's a great experience. Tampa Raptors, you look like that kind of something like that. Tampa Bay Raptors. I guess it'll be a cool experience. I guess. Since they're so familiar with playing in Orlando the whole time with the trouble in the bubble, the NBA bubble and things like that. So be interesting to see how that turns out. Antonio Martinez is tired of the Bruce guys lost. Tom will have to do a better job coaching him. Bruce looks completely lost on the sidelines. He's trying to manage everything. That's what happens when you're the head coach. You try to manage all the puzzles and pieces and things that are going on that and jump in when you need help, just like a store manager would, the GM would help out department managers and things like that. I just think they just need to come with a better plan against a team like the Saints. And going forward, when you're facing people that are going to run that man coverage on you and bracket Mike Evans. And I think people are so caught up, Mike Evans in these yards. Really, what is the goal here? For Mike Evans to get 1,000 yards just to say he broke Randy Moss's record as his favorite player, or for the Bucs to actually win the game? Which one's more important? Sometimes you can't have both. And we'll talk about the injury report too coming into the week as well. But let's roll down here. We're going to talk about, we talked about the Raptors. What do you guys think about the ownership's contingency plan with teams missing games? And so they're going to add 2 more teams to the playoffs, making it from 14 to 16. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think college football should take that into consideration as well, possibly making a bigger playoff bracket because of some teams that miss games and things like that are bowl eligible and stuff like that. Because clearly 2020 is a different kind of year. And of course, everything normal things aren't going to be the same, and they're going to have to be a little different. You're going to have to be a flex a little bit, changing in and out from year to year. Well, year to year, but at least 2020 to try to get things rolling, because some of these kids don't have a chance to play again. Unless they stay another year, but there's no guarantees. Then they come into the draft, they don't have game tape. It's interesting, but I'm not complaining with more playoff football, especially if some teams miss games due to COVID. I'm not opposed by it. I understand that it's a contingency plan and you got to do something to try to coincide with the whole COVID-19 thing. What do you guys think? Phone lines are up, 727-475-1882. If you guys want to talk, it is there and it is available. Let's go with also put in your predictions in the game. We're going to hear from Teddy Bridgewater. We're going to hear from Stephen A. Smith. We're going to hear from the Herd Cower. So we're going to hear from all those guys talking about the Panthers game and what the Buccaneers perform and what they need to do next game and things like that. And of course, I'm always going to bring you my Madden 21 predictions to see what they say. A lot of times they're right, a lot of times they're wrong. We'll just see. It's just a game and just prediction to see what it's like. Gary, we need to live and die by the blitz on defense because we can't play zone for crap. And you can't play zone against that team in particular. You're right. Because I know they were scared to blitz. They figured they would get burned and things like that. And the linebackers are getting taken advantage of. Bruce Arians did mention that linebackers are in position. And that's the thing. I know somebody got upset with me when I said that. Said the linebackers are getting exposed. I would love to have Stephen A. on here and go back and forth with him. A lot of times I see eye to eye with him. What are we talking about? But I said that Devin White was getting exposed in coverage, and somebody was upset and said, "Oh, Devin White's great in coverage." I'm like, I'm not saying they're out of place. They're just not making plays when you need to make plays. Levante David's falling down in coverage. Devin White's gotten beat by a smaller running back, lost the location of the ball in the back, and then the tight end scored right over Levante David twice in the Saints game. One outside and one inside. One of them was he was trying to communicate to the defense, but the guy ran a slant inside and he got an easy touchdown. But they're in place. It's just they're just not making plays on the ball, unfortunately, and that's not really their forte in man coverage and things like that. They can do it, but that's not really something they train for. I'm sure these next couple of weeks they're going to be practicing that and try to work on some technique and things like that. But let's say, speaking of it, let's hear what the Herd had to say about the game, and we'll hear from Stephen A. Smith as well.
So the story, Tampa got blown out, just terrible. And Bruce Arians, for the second time, took a little bit of a shot at Brady not getting the ball to Mike Evans. Here we go. Ooh, that's a little. Let me just say this. It doesn't really matter. Here's the big problem in Tampa this morning. They're a 5th seed. They're a wild card team. Saints beat them twice. Saints are the number 1 seed. They're going to get a bye right now. New England, as of this morning, would have to go on the road 3 times to get to the Super Bowl. They'd have to go to Philadelphia and Carson Wentz and win there. Tampa would go to Philadelphia. Tommy and Tampa would go to Philadelphia, Carson Wentz. Could you win there? And then Tommy and Tampa would go to New Orleans and face Sean Payton in the Superdome and Drew Brees. Got to win there. And then Tommy and Tampa would have to go to Seattle and beat Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson there. That ain't happening. Brady never won back-to-back road playoff games in New England. And that was with Belichick. That was with great defenses. That was with Oa's outstanding top 5 offensive lines. He's got the defense, but he doesn't have the O-line he had in New England or the coach. Just say it out loud. Playoffs, road, Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. You're not winning those games. You may win one of them. You're not winning all 3. So Sunday wasn't just about an ugly loss. Sunday was about officially becoming a wild card team in the NFC. Things may get worse. You may have to go to Green Bay and face Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Philadelphia in their division goes on a win streak. Maybe Green Bay struggles a little bit. I mean, all I know is today it's Wentz, Brees, Russell Wilson. All with really good coaches. One's already beaten Belichick in a Super Bowl. Sean Payton's got a Super Bowl, and so does Pete Carroll. You're not beating those quarterbacks and those coaches back to back to back on the road. It's not about what Bruce says or Tom says. He couldn't win back-to-back playoff games back-to-back in a weaker AFC. NFC's too thick now. He's 4-4. Tom was 4-4 on the road. Said this for years. Part of the greatness of Tom, let's be honest about it, was the dysfunction of Miami and the Jets and the Bills. He always got a home bye. He went 5-1 or 6-0 in division all those years. Usually 5-1. So that's Sunday's loss. The finger-pointing stuff I couldn't care less about. But this is a wild card team now. They're not winning their division. And to go on the road 3 straight times and win, again, 3 Super Bowl winning coaches. 3 Super Bowl winning coaches. Brady's not getting to a Super Bowl in Tampa. That's what Sunday said they're still really good, but so much of sports is your path. I mean, Georgia's a great football pro. If Georgia played in the Pac-12, if Georgia played in the Big 12, they'd play in the national championship game every year. But Clemson gets to play in the lousy ACC, so their path is easier. Much harder to get out of the SEC and get through Alabama. Your path, New England's path for 20 years was Jets, Dolphins, Bills, 5-1, bye home playoff game. That was a huge component to their success. They're not winning 3 straight roadies against Super Bowl winning coaches. They're not doing that. Tampa's out of the Super Bowl run. They're not winning the Super Bowl with that. Unless the Saints go into the tank, which, if Drew Brees is upright and Sean Payton still coaching, is not going to happen.
That's his opinion. If you're just tuning in, it's the Sports Talk 49. I'm Blake Anthony. This show is powered by 320 Solar. Put the power back into your pocket. Go to 320solar.com. So with him saying that, he has a point with losing to the Saints twice. You couldn't lose to them twice. And so when it comes down to the tiebreaker in division, unless the Saints, it's in the Saints have control now, pretty much. Now, all that other stuff about, I never won 2 back-to-back games on the road in the playoffs, X, Y, Z. Everybody has a stat for everything for some reason. Everybody's always got some type of stat. Whether that's right or wrong, you can lose any game. I've seen a 6 seed team in the playoffs go and win the Super Bowl. That was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've seen all types of things. So for him to say that he can't do it, anything could happen, especially in a COVID year. Russ or one of those guys could miss a game because of COVID. You don't know. Saints could go have a crazy losing streak. It's a possibility. For him to just say that you ain't going to win a Super Bowl this early in the season is why I got in the media broadcasting to begin with. Because when guys can just sit there and make those kind of statements so early in the season, I couldn't watch anymore. So this is why you have me on here today, twice a week on Sundays, and talking about sports and stuff that I know about this game and sharing some knowledge with you guys. And that's why I got into it, because guys like him, people will listen to that and believe it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm out here in the Tampa Bay area and I'm covering the Buccaneers and things like that. Yes, injuries too, Mike. Anything could happen. For him to say a statement that early right now, just to say, oh, Saints are going to get a bye. So the Saints are just automatically going to win the rest of their games. You don't know what else is going to happen. Drew Brees could hurt his shoulder. Taysom Hill going to come in and win? Jameis Winston going to come in and win? It's a possibility, but it's not guaranteed. Alvin Kamara could go down. Anything could happen. And in being in Tampa, I've just learned to accept it, that Tampa Bay fans freak out over everything. You're 6-3 and you're freaking out like this. They're 3-6. Yes, they got their asses whooped by the Saints. Yes, we've all acknowledged that. Nobody's discrediting that. They need to tighten up. You need to be where they are with fluidness, continuity, and game planning, especially the game planning situation. When the Saints take away Mike Evans, you have to find other solutions to get Mike Evans the ball, or try to create ways that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not just saying that, oh, you should only create plays for Mike Evans. That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, and you fans need to just hear me a little bit when I'm saying that. There's ways to get him open, but you're not going to get him open all the time. But the other receivers have to step up too and help create. Because once the other guys start catching passes and beating their matchups, they'll come out of that. They'll come out of that coverage. They'll come out of it. They'll have to, because you're winning on your other wide receiver spots. And another part where they don't really enter the back that much is throwing to the back. And they did throw to the back some against the Saints. They didn't just they didn't break the first tackle. They got to make the first guy miss to get yards. They was getting tackled on the first guy. That has to change, and that's on the backs. That's not on the play call. If they can get Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones in space with one-on-one, that's a situation any running back or any playmaker wants. You got to make that first guy miss and get those extra 15 to 20 yards. That's good play calling to put your guy in a one-on-one situation. Let me get to these comments because, I was kind of rambling here for a minute and just talking. What's with the status with 24? Carlton will play, Mike. He's fine to play. He'll be there. He just had knee soreness. It wasn't nothing torn or anything. It was just knee soreness, Mike. I'll pull up injuries report here in a second, too. Still a lot of games left. Anything can happen. He said, I feel we can't screw his opinion. The season's not over. Exactly. Is this the same guy that said Lakers was not going to win a championship? Yes, he was. Michael Harper, anything can happen. That's why they play the game on Sunday. Evidently, yep. I said Saints have lost first-round playoffs a few times, so exactly. But he's crowning them a first-round bye, so right now. Don't count out Brady and the Bucks any given Sunday. Injuries, AB, the Saints, not a good playoff team. Nope, they blow it all the time. Sitting there. Oh, yep. Facts. Yep. And you talking about injuries. I got that for you here in a second. You got injury. Christian McCaffrey's out. We're going to get to my winning angle as well. We'll get to the winning angle right after the break, and we'll talk post game. We'll talk Panthers and all that. I got to get to Stephen A. Smith as well. But McCaffrey's out, and I made the winning angle, picking that he's in. But the offense shouldn't change that much because the guys that they have can do the same thing he can do. So he's out. Your starting left tackle's out. Stephen Weatherly out the game. Ian Thomas, the tight end, looks like he might play. Jeremy Chin, one of their safeties. He's important to their defense. He's out. Reggie is out with an ankle. Marcus Hayes, questionable. Gross Matos, questionable. Austin Larkin, questionable. Dante Jackson, questionable. That's huge. The corner spot. Brian Burns should be there. Mike Davis should be there. And defensive tackle Roy should be there. So there's a couple of guys that you play Madden. Blake Howard was attempted to buy it on Xbox. It's Madden. I mean, I like playing football, on Madden and competing against people. It's like a strategy to me. But also, you guys post your predictions. What you guys think your predictions are? And speaking of Madden and the predictions, let's get to what EA thinks about this game. But you know what? I can go into all that. Let's go into what Stephen A. Smith said about the linebackers, because I know Bruce Arians said they're fine and they're in coverage and everything, but Stephen A. Smith seems to think else.
Very, very clear here. You look at a couple of things. I wrote this down. You got Devin White. You got Levante Davis. Of the 13 times they were targeted against as Tampa's linebackers, they allowed 12 catches on 13 targets. That's horrendous. When you look at the cornerbacks, the young dudes, Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis, they're young quarterbacks. They guess a lot. They take chances and what have you, them and that entire secondary. And you simply can't do that against a Drew Brees. So you've got to point to that and the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were immediately in a hole. Now, Tom Brady didn't help.
I mean, it's true. Tom Brady didn't help. $35-20. It's a good game. What a difference a weeks make with national media. Oh, yeah. That's why you can't really trip. When it's week to week, they did get embarrassed on national television. I think that's why it's that bad that the media and talking about it right now. I think that's the key part, is that it was on the national stage and they got their butts whooped. I think it was because they were on the national stage. That's why. But it's just a loss, just like it's a win. You take it and you move on. You go to the next week. They've only lost 3 games this year. Usually the Bucs have double that by now, coming into week 10 in years past. They're in control of their destiny. They're in control of the 3 wins away from having a winning season. 10 wins will probably get them into the playoffs. So 4 wins away from that. 12-4 is pretty much what a lot of people had them at. They're at 12-3. They're right where everybody expected them to be. They're 6-3, 3 losses. A lot of people are picking them to lose to the Chiefs. So they beat 4 losses. They be 12-4. It's a possibility. If not, 11-5 is not bad either. That's better than what it was. I know people have a lot of expectations, but they haven't fell below the expectations. They're 6-3. They lost. They dropped the game that they probably shouldn't have dropped in the Bears game, but it's Thursday night, and you had a whole swarm of injuries, and it was just bad football. Bad football on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' part in that game. And that's probably one of the ones that they probably shouldn't have lost, and they probably should be 7-2 right now. But that's the way the football comes. They should get one that people thought they weren't going to get. They almost blew one to the Giants. That would have been a hurt piece, to lose to the Giants and then to lose to the Saints. Now I can understand everybody freaking out a little bit. But they didn't. They pulled out the game against the Giants. Why? Because you finally have kicking. He went 4 for 4 in that game and made all his extra points. Something that Tampa Bay is not accustomed to. And you see how field goals play an intricate part in the game. And I remember mainstream media saying that Tampa Bay shouldn't rely on the kicker to win games. Why not? Are you going to tell Tom Brady that and take away all those Super Bowls that Adam Vinatieri kicked for the Patriots? I don't like when they downplay something to help fit the narrative of what they're putting out. And I can expect him on the herd too, because he was a Tom Brady supporter when he came here to Tampa Bay, and then he's bashing Tom Brady coming out. So he's even. He's even. He's even on both sides of the spectrum in regards to when he's talking about a player. So I can respect that totally. What's going on, Deshaun? Phone lines are open, 727-475-1882 if you guys want to call in. I'll be going to a break here in a second, and then we'll get to the Madden prediction, and then we'll get to the winning angle, of course, and then we're just talking to the pregame to the Panthers. We just want to wrap up a little bit, talking about the Tampa Bay Raptors, talking about the playoff contingency plan. You can also hear from Teddy Bridgewater. We'll all have that in the second segment here. I just wanted to get out what Sports Center, what First Take, and these guys really thought about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It seems like a lot of them are disappointed, with the loss. They expected them to split even with the Saints, and fairly rightful so. They probably should. Oh, excuse me. They probably should have got me a Dunkin' Donut. They probably should have split with the Saints, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And it's not time to freak out. And I appreciate all you guys watching the shows. The Sports Talk 49 live on BucksReport.com every Monday and Friday. Monday at 3 p.m. Friday at 3 p.m. Mondays doing post game. Fridays doing pregame. Mondays is always rough because I got to get all the information out so quick from Sunday to Monday to put it out for you guys Monday and get it out there and get it fresh out and all that. Fridays we're talking post game. Got a lot of stuff for the Panthers and stuff I thought might work against them. And all that, and I had some other stuff too about the best plays that the Bucks ran in the game that they never went back to. And you know what? Let me go into that. This is probably the best play that was ran in that game. That was incompletion, but it was the best play concept. What I've been saying the Bucks should do against man coverage the whole time. Let me just shut up and put this on here. Hold on. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me get this ready for you. All right. Here it is. 3rd and 6. This is a 3rd and 6. Mike Evans been shut down all game. Now I'll slow this down for you here. Now, when I say they're in man coverage, if you guys don't know, that's called man under coverage with 2 safeties up. I don't know how that happened. With 2 safeties high. That's called man under. Look at the concept. What do you see here? Everybody, it looks like a fire drill. Everybody's everywhere. Chris Godwin's picking off the guy for Antonio Brown. He is, but he isn't. He's free. If Brady hits Brown here, this is a touchdown. Look at all this space. It's a touchdown. You get at Antonio Brown. Mike goes to Godwin. Probably should have caught that. Could have went to Evans on that play too. Brady was under duress, and he got hit and it went to the ground. But they should have called more plays like this. Like, this is how you find somebody open. And this is what Patrick Mahomes and, well, not really Russell Wilson, but Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff and them did a lot when they went to the Super Bowl. You just run those routes because when the pressure is that bad and you got to roll out the pocket, why? Because if he goes to the right, there's somebody over there. If he goes to the left, there's somebody over there. He's got options to throw to somebody on both sides instead of trying to throw back across his body like he did late in the 4th quarter. Well, the game was clearly I know a lot of people are trying to use that. Brady threw it the Gronk in double coverage and throw him back across his body and was picked off when Mike Evans came open. Yes, Mike Evans did come open at the end of that, but did that really matter? The game was already over. It was 31-0 at that point. He hits Mike, it might be 31-7. So what? But I know Brady's going to look at that tape and he's going to find reasons why he can find people open and get that going. Oh, Mike, we'll get to that in a second. Or I mean, Mike, I'll get it. I'll say it tonight. Usually I save it for Peter's show, Mike, but I'll get to it. But we're going to go into a quick break. I'll come back and we're going to talk. You're going to hear from Teddy Bridgewater. You're going to hear the Madden prediction, and then you're going to hear the winning angle. So stand by for the break, and we'll be right back. Get yourself a drink or something, as the Lord knows I will. A bit parched. So check this out.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
And we're back, everybody. This is Sports Talk 49 live on Bucks Report every Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. Monday doing postgame, Friday doing pregame. We're back. We're going to listen to Teddy Bridgewater, hear the winning angle, and as well hear Madden 21's predictions. We're going to talk about the Bucks and the Panthers, strategies to win the game, what they got to do. We talked about injuries. We talked about the Tampa Bay Raptors, talked about the NFL owner's contingency plan with adding 2 more playoff teams in the case that COVID-19 cancels some games and they have to make them up somewhere. So we'll see about that. It's just a contingency plan. Let me make sure to go out here to the box and check out here with the 49ers here and the webheads here, not webheads, but the 49ers. What's your prediction, Blake? In this game, Teddy put up 350 yards plus the first time without Christian McCaffrey. I can't expect anything less the second time. I have to say probably 28-14, something like that, 28-20, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Panthers been playing some really good football. They've been finding mismatches with their play calling, their play style, and things like that. And I'll get into all that with the winning angle, and we'll check it out. While we see him shaking. What you mean? You talking about with the loss? Yeah, they seem shaking a lot. We really need to get back to it. Absolutely. So yeah, let's hear Madden 21's prediction. Well, no, let's hear from Teddy. Teddy, and see where Teddy's focus is at. I just thought he's taking Sunday as a joke to me a little bit here. And then we'll go into Madden 21's prediction, and then we'll come back here.
Why are you wearing that?
I'm here to throw a flag on any question that I don't want to answer. No, I'm just playing. I just came from work, my other job, Foot Locker. So, yeah.
Mike, Solarte, you want to ask the next one?
Is there a reason that you are working at Foot Locker?
Well, when you got a punter who is 100% on the season completing passes, man, he makes it tough on you. So, trying to find another way to generate some income.
If that's your mental preparation for the game, he's taking it kind of as a joke to me. They just sees where their focus is at. I know he's their quarterback, and Teddy's been talked about a lot and counted out, and I guess he plays with a chip on his shoulder and some type of attitude. A lot of players do. Carlton Davis does it all the time. But it's just interesting to see that's the kind of stuff he's got going on coming to a game versus what Tom Brady's got going on and things like that. You see the maturity levels and things like that, why people have won more games and Super Bowls than others and things like that. And I like Teddy Bridgewater. It's just I thought this was interesting. And with that being interesting, let's go into Madden 21's prediction.
Today, from Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, this is the National Football League. Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers taking on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay.
The left hash, a chip shot here. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. Here's Bridgewater. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Ian Thomas there to make the grab. And the Panthers have taken the lead.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
And his kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. Big spot here. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And it bangs off the left upright into play here. This to make it a two-score game. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left.
And a renewed determination.
He'll look to throw. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Back to throw, Brady. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And remember, field goal does them no good in this situation.
You got to think they should be taking some shots for the end zone soon. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. He gets it into the hands of Gronkowski, complete. One final try now for Brady. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone. But anytime you're outside of the 10, that's tough trying to draw up a final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.
It certainly is. So what they were looking for was, extra time. Too bad it's not FIFA soccer, right, where you get a little bit of extra and you get a chance to run a couple more plays and maybe get closer and take that last shot into the end zone.
There you have it, 10-3. But to Madden, thanks. And do I believe that's what's going to happen? Absolutely not. 6-minute quarters on a simulation game. I don't think that. It's just there for interesting to see what they have. Sometimes it's a high-scoring affair, some of these Madden games, but unfortunately this time it wasn't. And they had the Panthers beating the Bucs 10-3. If they score another 3 points 2 weeks in a row, there's some serious problems in Tampa Bay, and they're serious. They need to look at what's going on in the offense if you have that kind of firepower and can only get 6 points in 2 weeks. If you're just tuning in, it's Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com. On Bucs Report, Facebook's followed at 67,000 on Facebook. Follow me at Blake Anthony 49 on Twitter. This show is also powered by 320 Solar. Put the power back into your pocket. What's in your wallet? Read the comment section in here from the 49ers. Mike, Charles Davis is annoying as hell. The DB, he always tends to side with defense and stuff like that. But sometimes he's spot on, sometimes he's not. But Charles Davis isn't that bad. His things don't be quite crazy outlandish. Like on the herd, you just heard, he says pretty much the Saints is running the table and they're going to get the first round bye. Nothing else need to be said about that. The Vikings, all those other teams they play don't make a difference. They play the 49ers. They could possibly lose to them. So who knows what will happen. So it's interesting to see what predictions they come up with in these certain sort of things. And speaking of predictions, I see you down there in the box. Deshaun, get to you one second. Let's go into the winning angle, and then we'll see what Mr. Deshaun Tisdale's got on the upcoming game, because he's always got a different perspective as well. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a Week 10 edition of The Winning Angle with none other than Blake Anthony himself from Sports Talk 49. Can be seen and heard on Bucs Report every Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. Today we're going to be talking about the Bucs versus the Panthers. Bucs going on the road, looking to avenge a terrible loss to their division rival, the Saints, last week. So here's the tape. Check it out. The return of Christian McCaffrey has changed this offense tremendously. It is more dynamic and more lethal. And don't sleep on running back Mike Davis either, out of South Carolina, number 28. They're all just as dangerous, both running and receiving. You're going to see this formation a lot with Samuels and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Why? Because they'll both carry the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield. Let's see what the Panthers do in this situation. They said McCaffrey in motion, see what flows that way, and then they have the ability to run a counter back the other way. But this time they get McCaffrey in space and get about a 7-yard gain out of that. They could have handed that off, but they decided not to. They probably will come back to that later on in the game, depending on how the Chiefs play that from time to time. Buccaneers need to see the same thing. See the influence of the run. You get linebackers flowing away, and it creates lanes for the running back. So let's look at this next play. 3rd and 7 with 7:27 in the quarter. Let's see what the Panthers come out in. They come on a 3 wide receiver set. Robbie Anderson is all the way to the outside. Got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Devin White is all too familiar, and Levante Davis is familiar with Christian McCaffrey and how slippery he is coming out of the backfield. Now, everything is an illusion in this offense, and these guys are so fast that if you lose sight and don't stay disciplined, you will lose your guy in coverage, and he will go in for a touchdown. Here they use clear-out routes and goes McCaffrey in the flats, and they throw an underneath pass. Now, the reason I show that is because the Saints ran something similar last week at Sunday night against the Buccaneers. Don't think they won't watch the tape and find out what worked against the Bucs in that matchup and come back to use that against the Bucs. We'll bring that back up later. Remember the bunch I told you about before? Same thing. They used a bunch, slipped McCaffrey out instead of pass blocking. Linebacker is unable to get, or defensive back Matthews is unable to get the McCaffrey out in there because of the traffic. Because of that play creates a natural pick. All these guys in the box, when they see man coverage, they're going to go to Christian McCaffrey in the back because they know they have a natural pick with the wide receivers. Here we are again down in the red zone, something else. They got a trips bunch formation. Please know that somebody's coming in motion. They give the jet sweep. They get the matchup. Remember I told you about natural picks? Here's natural picks here. Everybody gets washed down by one guy, creating a wall of traffic, and guys are running into each other. And it's an easy run-in touchdown by Curtis Samuel. Here's again for another angle. It's why I show you guys earlier plays, because they set them up for later. They got Mike Davis out lead blocking. Looks like Jonathan Stewart from back in the day, doesn't it? All he's got to do is got the good angle and just cut the defender off, and Samuels has the speed to beat the guy to the edge, and it's a touchdown. Now, I bring this up from what I showed you earlier. They run this all the way out. They watch tape on Jamil Dean against the Giants. All 3 defenders are staring at the back in the backfield. Don't think they won't use Curtis Samuel or Christian McCaffrey on this play and try the same thing on the Buccaneers. That's all I got for you guys, and I hope you enjoy this edition of The Winning Angle. The return. There it is, the Week 10 edition of The Winning Angle. And speaking of winning angles, there's Deshaun Tidsdale. I'm going to give us his tidbits on the winning angle. What's going on,
Deshaun? Just ready to, I think BA said it best. As a fan, we have to just live with it until the next game. So right now we're just looking to just get past that last game, and nothing is going to have us completely past that last game until we actually start playing in this next game, start rooting for it. So I'm ready to see the Buccaneers go ahead and start competing against Carolina Panthers. I was a little bit taken back by Teddy Bridgewater on that interview. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on, and Teddy's been like that. I've seen another interview with Teddy Bridgewater before, and he's had times where he's like that. So it's such a throw off. It's just like we're reeling from a Tampa Bay perspective, and all of our Bucks Report pundits and Tampa Bay pundits, and we're like, oh my gosh, we just got beat like that. And this dude is up here talking about Foot Locker. I was like, Foot Locker?
That's where his head's at. That's where his head's at. He's talking about Foot Locker. Days away from a
you're
game.
talking about the punter, like, oh, our punter is this. I'm like, what? They paint? Oh, I was like, oh my gosh, bro. And that and low key, I kind of thought that was like a disrespect in such a subtle, like, oh, we're not even thinking about you guys right now. And to be honest with you, as he said that, and I watched that, and then I was going over film on us anyway, just kind of self-scouting from a team perspective. Week by week, our defense has been being taken apart. And for as great as any coach is in the NFL, there's always a job that they used to have. So just let that, I'm going to say it again. For as great as any coach is in the NFL, there's always a job that they used to have. So 3 games ago, we're raving of how great Todd Bowles is. Todd Bowles is always the X something. So is BA. So is everyone else. And I say that to say it's like they figured it out already how to defeat us. We have great personnel that can fit and do what we need to do for this defense. There's that portion that we need to now start doing something else to stay ahead of the curve. And we've lost the edge. Right now, we're in compromising positions because we haven't changed enough. The NFL is a copycat league. So you go from, look at the breakdown. You can do it yourself, Blake. Look at the breakdown from the Packers. So you get that group bunch formation. This is a little bit scary this week because, to be honest with you, Carolina runs that same formation when they get ready. So you got that group bunch formation. Everybody over the league just tries to run natural picks anyway, and get to the backs. Hey, throw the ball to the backs, natural picks. That's Green Bay. So Carolina's Green Bay with just not an Aaron Rodgers. Correct. And they're going to do the same thing. And now, okay, they don't have Christian McCaffrey. Guess what? Davis has been chomping at the bit.
He's just as good.
He's not a victim of value. He's a victim of, hey, this dude is a superstar and I'm just an all-star. So he's trying to show he's carries away from being, known as a great back. He needs carries. And every single time you see him touch the ball, you see energy, you see passion. It's what I want to see out of Tampa's running backs. I see it out of them. I see him chomping at the bit. I can feel it through the TV screen. The energy, I want it. I'm going. I'm giving 100%. And I don't see it every play out of our running backs. But I could clearly see it when I see him play. That gives me an uneasy feeling because, listen, of late we've been giving up 100-yard games, and that's okay. That's not unheard of in the league. The fact that we've been able to go this long without giving up 100-yard games, it's been great. But the fact that when you're breaking down in such a fact, now even before when we would do this, it would be 1 or 2 big runs that made this back go over 100 yards. And if you remember, end of last season, 1 or 2 big runs that, they were over 100, but if you take that one run or that one misfit or that one unsoundly gap play by the defense away, this guy doesn't have 100 yards. They just came and ran the ball down on us. They showed up. BA said it best. I mean, what college team, if you can't stop a power run game, you're done, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so they just came and power ran us. And I'm like, listen, if we can't stop that, then now we show where it really gets for us. I mean, we couldn't get to the quarterback. If we can't get to Breeze, we ain't getting to Teddy from a mobility standpoint, right? So Teddy's definitely going to be more mobile than Breeze. And then Davis he's a true compliment. People do not give him enough credit. As a fan, I don't want to discount him at all. I will not discount the Panthers like Teddy Bridgewater seemingly discounted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to me. I'm looking for a return and a repair and a reestablished game right now from Tampa. We really need to open up the playbook. I've seen we're not playing to our advantage, in my opinion, offensively. Defensively, we're caught. I think we're star fishing. And when I say that term, that's when your coaches coached you all week about this prolific player that's on the other offense. So whatever you do, you're watching the other player that's, such a renowned player on that offense. And you forget that he's one player and there are 10 other players. Mm-hmm. You see it with Jamel Dean all the time. You see it even when teams double with Mike Evans. When you start giving so much attention to one player, when Brees threw that over Jamel Dean's head, you had the inside linebacker, you had the nickel back over there, and then you have him as a corner up top, all eyes on Alvin Kamara completely. So yes, Jamel Dean gets the heat because he got scored on. But guess what? It's man for man. So those other two defenders were supposed to be covering someone else as well that was just streaking across the field, and Brees did not throw to them. They were also open.
Didn't need to take the touchdown.
Need to, yeah. He didn't need to. Yeah. But that's, we're looking at it, and I'm like, oh, Jamel Dean. But listen, Jamel Dean's been doing this, but we get stuck in the backfield and we're leaving. When we do that, I'm not opposed to bringing someone else off the bench. Hey, you're getting, you need to reassess right now, right? We need to stop this now. We've had 3 games, at least 2 for sure, but I'm saying 3 where you're following that look technique, and I get it that you were watching film, but the NFL is made to make plays look like the last play. Every play they want to look the same. They're going to run the motion. This is not college where you're going to be able to tell, hey, that guy jogged, so he's not going to get it. That doesn't work. We got NFL receivers that can take 3-step jog and then, hit their 40 speed. So we're getting beat deep. That has to stop happening. And I really think defensively, our inside linebackers, they've just been being taken advantage of. Scheme, they've been being pre-snap beat. They've been being pre-snap beat. They're pre-snap beat. If you notice, our backers in these last 3 games, their tackle percentage has dropped considerably. And even though Devin White, and this is why, my slide, I normally have White sitting right over here behind me. I don't have him sitting right behind me. He's off to the side a little bit today.
Take the week off.
Yeah, because he's been making tackles, and yes, you'll see him and they'll say, oh, Devin White made the tackle. Listen, when inside linebackers for me make tackles for 5 to 7 yards down the field, I don't show that the same respect. That's,
that's Barrett Root.
You miss that. That's Barrett Root.
Barrett Root.
I remember it. So he's cleaning up on tackles, but listen, it's 7 yards down the field all the time. Come on, that is exactly Barrett Root.
Everything's 10, 15 yards downfield. I'm like, does it really matter?
It don't matter. I mean, you have the record, but we won't win. And listen, to me, for the Levante David of this, he's the one who, when we win, I'll be most happy for him. I think he's been the elder statesman on our team from a rotational standpoint, from being here, going through all the. Listen, everybody's talked about everybody else. He's went through all the coaching, and he's played hands down. He's played great all this time, and he has never gotten the accolades for it. And it's because he's on this team. Now, he may not be a inside linebacker on another team, or probably be a Will or something on someone else's team. However, he's never going to get the accolades if we do not win. We have to win for him. And I feel bad for him. I understand the career in the NFL is shorter than what people realize. We're going to be, I've been a fan of this team since I came from Bills Mafia since 1992. So, and I came over when Darryl Talley came to Tampa. I've been here ever since Darryl Talley was the linebacker for Tampa. So, we had the 4 horsemen with Hardy Nickerson and Quarles. And so I've been here. But Levante David, to me, is the one who's missing out this season if we don't do everything that we're supposed to do, because I'm thinking he's very limited on the time that's left. Our secondary, once again, they're still young. Unfortunately, over the past 2 to 3 games, they're definitely showing some of the youthful inabilities. Although in that secondary, a couple of bright lights. Carlton Davis, I think he hasn't had his big penalties, hasn't really made mistakes in this time right now, Blake. So to me, since he hasn't made a mistake in the times that we're losing, and his mistakes generally come when we win, his PIs and stuff like that, they come when we win. since we've been losing, he hasn't really had any mistakes. He comes up and hits like he's supposed to. He sticks like he's supposed to. I'm kind of wondering if we'll see SMB back on the outside since Dean's been having some mishaps. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he's still dealing with that groin. That's what I think. Ever since that Raider game, it really showed where he held Nelson Aguilar, where he knew he was going to get beat. I said, I was like, I think he's still. I was like, he's still hurt. I said he just made a smart play. That was a smart penalty versus giving up a touchdown. But he's really been quiet. I think somebody posted on social media that he's had 40 targets and he's had 38 catches. Now, as far as I know in the games, a lot of those underneath routes don't really mean much. If they're not really converting for a bunch of first downs, I could care less on those. He has a pick, and I know he has a couple pass. I mean, it was one or two pass breakups, but otherwise, in the big play downfield in the Chargers game, he hasn't really given up nothing substantial, really, as far as I know.
When you look at our defense, though, I know we have a couple of hybrids from a safety perspective that can come down and play nickel and they can do coverage, but like true corners, I mean, we don't really have anything else, to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody looked at our depth chart. Like everything else is like, even like Mike Edwards, Winfield, and Whitehead, they both are kind of hybrid play. All three of them really, they're hybrid players. So they're going to play the nickel or whoever's on that slot. Obviously they can both play both safety positions. But, if you go to our depth chart, I mean, it's like Carlton Davis, Mel Dean, Bunting, Ryan Smith.
Yep, that's it.
That's our special teamer. Oh, and then we have like Russ. Russ Cockrell.
Yeah, Cockrell. Because remember, Motley went to the 49ers.
Oh, well, he didn't.
Oh yeah, he got picked taken. Up.
Yeah, he got taken. I know we were trying to save him, and I mean that's that thing this year where you're trying to save players. Motley was clearly someone that we would have rather had to come off. I thought he would have saw time had he. But I mean, we have some players here that had been in the system last year. I think on our practice squad we have what's the kid from UCF that made the team last year.
I know who you're talking about, Mazzy Wilkins.
Mazzy Wilkins. I think he's on practice squad too. So, but I mean, clearly, in their opinion, he's not ready for the big show. But when we're talking about I'm putting guys out here that's in injury, and I mean, as a fan, I'm like, hey, listen, there's still 8 teams going in the playoffs right now. Right now, I think they said it's still 8, right?
Yeah, still 14 total.
14 total going to playoffs.
Yeah, the contingency will be 16.
So, I mean, right now we lost that to get the NFC South to the Saints. However, I still see us being able to, right this ship, if you will. But I mean, make no mistake about it. We still need to do what we need to do. The NFC, we've been splitting with the Falcons, good or bad for us. We've been splitting. So we'll see if the Brady effect has something there. Those, once again, that's also going to be 2 games back, pretty much back to back.
Right.
That's going to make a big deal. And then, just as a Tampa fan, and I mean, everybody on Bus Report, we wanted all these primetime games this year, and rightfully so. We know we've been in the backyard. We don't get the light here in Tampa, and we want to just come out on stage and just show up and show out. We're like grandparents just came in town, and we got to play tonight. We want to step up, and right now Tampa just hasn't done that. Even the wins are just wins. They, nothing just like, oh wow, that team is. So right now, I mean, we're in a battle, and if we first have to get to the playoffs, so let's, we're gonna put our heads down and put our hats on, fix our, tuck our shirts in, and let's go ahead and get to the playoffs. But defensively, and this is my last thing here, it's really just that push up front and that D-line rotation. I said it before the game. I'm saying it still again. I see way too many interior D linemen there that are supposed to supply pass rush. And just like people used to say with Gerald McCoy, that's not the job of that interior D lineman to supply pass rush. They're really gap control. So they're to control the run. So yeah, we should be great when we have those bodies in there because they're supposed to control the run. But when it comes pass rush time and we're not bringing heat, and you heard BA say, oh, yeah, we tried this blitz, we tried that blitz, we didn't get there. So you're either telling me the Saints line is that great or our effort was just, need I say it, piss poor. So I'm not really sure what you saw because I'm still not sure what I saw. I was like, who are these people?
No, you ain't lying. The interior three, Johnny D put in the comment, he said it'd be nice to get pass rush with three and put the other guys in coverage, but it ain't going to happen, and that defense isn't really built for that. I mean, what good is Jason Pierre-Paul back in coverage? Like, I'm not being a smart ass or anything. I'm just saying it's a waste. It's an utter waste. It's an utter waste. Shaq Barrett has shown he can play in coverage.
See, so Shaq, the body type is a little bit different. To me, JPP is a true 4-3 defensive end. He's athletic enough to stand up and rush, so you can get that out of him. Once again, he's moved up in the age, so he's no longer the same person that he was previously. You could drop off Shaq Barrett and play games with him. I would literally bring Anthony Nelson, JPP inside. I'd probably leave Sue in there now as our middle person. Take off Golston, take off what's his name
Nacho.
from the Jets. I take off Nacho for sure. Nacho, his first couple of games, Nacho was definitely showing that little drop off from Vita. And we know he's not Vita, but he was playing great. His play is severely diminished, in my opinion, at this point. And right now, McClendon played great, but the previous game before the Saints, and then the Saints game, he looked like a Jets player out there.
Everybody did. That defensive line. No pressure.
When we talk about dropping, we got Russell sitting on the bench. From a linebacker perspective, or outside linebacker perspective, we still got Mentor there. That he can do everything, savvy veteran. That at least I know Mentor's not gonna, just run down Kamara so perfectly from a player standpoint, but guess what? He's a savvy veteran. He's seen it all before. He's gonna be out there and be in position to make a play. Where we're not getting a rush, we're trying the same thing that teams are doing against us. Hey, I watched them, rush 4 and drop everybody else in coverage and then get pressure with the 4.
Correct.
That is embarrassing. Now, granted that we know who was on our line. When you don't run the ball, when you have new players, new linemen in there, you're just setting them up for a fail. And listen, anybody that you set next to Donovan Smith, in my opinion, you're setting up for a fail. Like, we don't realize how great. Well, we always knew Ali Marpet was great. We knew when we got him, he was a good player. He's continued to show us he's been great. We paid him like he's great. But we don't know what it is to help and assist the guy standing next to him from a player perspective. He's clearly helping a lot more than we really understand.
Somebody made a comment, so we need to go get Don Terry Poe, 6'3", 345. I said, can you even name when the last sack of Don Terry Poe was?
He's not, but once again, I mean, this goes back to that Gerald McCoy. He's not there to make sacks. He's a big body in the middle. He's late in his career, Tony Saragusa. He's gonna plug and fill. You remember when Tony was late in his career, he was just a big body in there to clog it up. I know you can't run this. There's no A gap once he steps in it.
Like Gilbert Brown used to be for the Packers. Yes. You could not run that way with Gilbert.
You're not moving him. You're not moving Brown either. You're not moving him either.
You're going that way.
See, that's the difference I feel like with Vita. Vita has more than Nacho because he does have the size. He does have the get off. When he slides through the A gap, he puts pressure on it. I just feel Nacho and even McClendon, they kind of stand there. They kind of stand there. They're at the line. So when you're at the line, to me, you can get driven back. When you apply pressure, you automatically change the pocket. And once you change the pocket, the quarterback sees that and they tend to adjust, which adjusts them into position for the defensive ends to make plays on them. We're seconds away. We're half seconds away, half steps away. I see a lot of hits on quarterbacks this year. Right. I know people are, mad at Shaq and mad at JPP from a sack perspective, but
that's why your interception rate is so high in the defensive back. Ding, ding, ding.
Listen, we lead. When's the last time we've been leading with interceptions? When's the last time we led?
There's your sacks. They're in the secondary. Your sacks are in the secondary.
That's it. Those are our sacks, like you said. And that's the front and the back playing together. We're here. So, I mean, we do have Brady for another year. I'm never going to be super upset about where we're at. I'm going to be a Tampa fan regardless of what's going on. You know, I'm going to complain about stuff that I see that's not right. But I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be right on Bucs Report. I'll be right with the 49ers and everyone else on the Bucs Report, just watching it, enjoying. And, you know, I'm going to fly my flag like I do every time I get in my truck or when I'm out. I got boatloads of Buccaneers gear and hats and stuff. So people know, you know, I'm a Buccaneer when they see me, and that's a win or loss. So we're going to take this one and just keep on going. It's a Bucs life for me, guys.
You got for your score prediction?
I am going 28-14. I like to see us put up 4. I'll take a ton of yards, but, you know, 4 better, and I'll say they squeak out 2. So I have the Bucs 28-14 for this weekend against Carolina Panthers. Go Bucs.
That's what I got too. Thanks to Sean for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. You have a great one.
Sean Tidsdale, always welcome. Always bring out great. Yeah, I get your point, Gary. It'd be hard to move, but man, it was just last week. Whew, there's just no pass rush against that Saints. I mean, and their line is good. They pick up. All jokes aside, somebody talked about Madden. They do what I do in Madden. They pick up, offense and defensive linemen. Especially offensive linemen. You can't run without no offensive line. You can't pass without no offensive line. You live and die with those guys up front. That's where it's got to get done at. But we'll get out of here. I got through everything today. I appreciate everybody jumping on here in the comment section, everybody that's going to rewatch later. I'll have the winning angle up later if you guys want to check it out. It'll be on YouTube. And also check out I went through every pass play with Mike Evans. My perspective stuff is on my YouTube page. It's all there. It's simple. It's Blake Anthony 49 on YouTube, Twitter, and IG. It's simple to find. I appreciate you guys coming on and checking me out every week. I appreciate it. And you can still just add me on Twitter, Blake Anthony 49, and tell me your game predictions and things like that. So we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless, and fire those cannons.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.